Good morning, pretties. I hope your morning's off to a good start. I had the most awesome revelation this morning. So you guys know that our youngest daughter, Ava, homeschooled for the past 2 years, and this is her first year back in public school. And I just realized this morning that she gets the whole week off next week for Thanksgiving, and tomorrow's her last day of school until the 26th. So that kind of made my day. I'm so excited about that. Because I had some things I've been planning to do with her. She wanted to go see a movie with me, and we sat down last night. Craig and I sat down together and printed off a November and December calendar, and we are going to plan out the things that we want to do, like the special holiday traditions and all the stuff that we love doing during this time of the year, and just being really intentional about it. So one of the things that I had written on there was that I wanted to go see a movie with Ava. She's been wanting to see and invited me along. And as a mom of a teenage girl, you know how special that is. We don't want to overlook that. So yeah, I'm excited. We are planning our calendar out and getting all the stuff scheduled in there that we want to do over the next 2 months, and realizing that we really don't have that much time. It feels like, oh wow, 2 months. That's a long time. Actually, it's not even 2 months. It's like a month and a half. But when you start putting things in the calendar that you want to do, you realize how quickly that time is going to go by, and how much we want to do during that time. So it's important to get it on a schedule and make sure that we don't miss out on the stuff that we enjoy the most. So anyway, today's coffee chat is shifting gears quite a bit. We're going to talk a little bit about parenting today and some questions that I've been asked lately. I think both of these questions came through on DMs from Instagram. But I was laughing to myself this morning thinking about coffee chat and how it's like all over the place. We talk about potato soup one day, sex drive, style. It's like there's so many different topics, but hey, they are all relevant and all things that as women we struggle with and deal with on a daily basis. So please keep the great ideas coming. I love sharing with you guys and talking to you about these different topics that are so important to us. And today's is about parenting regrets, and a question that I got asked a few weeks ago that really created a pause in my life that made me have to mull over it for a couple weeks and really think through it. And that question is, are you the person you would want your kids to be when they're your age? It just really brought a lot of clarity around this point in my life, thinking about my kids being this age and what my hopes and dreams and desires for them are, because it's not only about them, but it's about where I am at this stage in life. And, if there's anything that I want to change, or any regrets that I've had, or anything that I would want to go differently in their lives to lead up to this point. And I'm going to start off with addressing regret, because I don't really subscribe to guilt. I think that guilt is unproductive. And, years ago, I decided that instead of feeling guilty about things, I was going to feel convicted. Instead, if there was an area of my life where I felt any sense of guilt, that could be a place where I can take action, whether that be to apologize for a wrongdoing, or try to fix something that went wrong, or just to do better next time. So I don't waste a lot of time in guilt. And, this is something that I've shared with my kids too. Like, if you feel bad about something, if you feel guilty about something that you did, then in what way can you convict yourself to do better, or to take action to fix this thing that's causing you the guilt? So I'm just going to start out with that, apologize if you need to, but if you take nothing else from this coffee chat today, just know that guilt is unproductive and conviction works so much better than that. So to address the question today about, am I the person I want to be, that I want my kids to be when they're my age, I'm going to go through a few different areas of life. And first off, I'm just going to say yes, for the most part, I think that's true. And I think it's a really good litmus test, I guess, for us as parents to ask ourselves this question every once in a while and evaluate where we're at and the example that we provide for them, and the role models that we're being for them in a lot of different areas. And I think as women and moms, you know, self-care definitely needs to fall on that list, which I'm going to address in a little while. We want to show our daughters that it's okay to take care of ourselves and not to burn ourselves out. But I'm going to start with relationships, because I think that one is the most important. And that if our kids are not in healthy relationships, and you know, that's affects every aspect of their lives. So I absolutely want my kids to be in happy marriages and to be with someone that they can have good conversations with. You know, that was one of the things when Craig and I were dating that was most important to me, was the fact that we could talk and talk and talk about anything and never run out of things to talk about. And it's still that way with us. We still have really good conversations and communication. And I just think that that's such an important thing. And one of the things that I'm talking, especially to our son, about, he's in a relationship right now, and, you know, evaluating what he wants out of this relationship. And I've told him many times that, especially when you're younger, that you tend to date people who are a mirror of you. And so the better, you know, the more work you do on yourself, the more you're going to attract a mate that's like you and that shares your values and all the good things about you. So, you know, we've talked to him about being with someone he can have good conversations with, and who's going to be, you know, there for the long term, because all that other stuff, like that stuff, all those endorphins and those things that happen, the chemical reactions when you first start dating somebody, that stuff goes away. And then what do you have left in the years that follow if you're basing it on some, you know, shallow aspects of the relationship? That stuff is going to go away, and you have to have a really good core and, you know, similar values and all that good stuff. So, you know, I definitely would start with relationships, and also want my kids to know that although Craig and I haven't modeled like the perfect marriage, because I don't think that exists, we have modeled working through really tough spots in our marriage. We have modeled going to counseling and calling in that third party when we need to. And we have modeled, you know, we've had arguments in front of our kids and resolved them and shown them that it's okay. Parents fight sometimes. It doesn't mean that we're getting divorced. It doesn't mean the world's coming to an end. So I hope that we have done better with that through the years. I want to say early in our marriage, you know, our fights probably weren't healthy and weren't productive, but we muddled through that. And, you know, I think we've shown them that marriage is something that you don't just automatically give up on and throw in the towel on. You have to keep working at it. So I'm pretty happy with where we're at in our relationship right now and what we're modeling for our kids. So that one I can definitely check the box on. Also in the area of relationships, you know, being close to their siblings and having that as they grow up. I feel like my older two kids, are starting to reconnect a little bit more now that they're in college, and they're also connecting with their younger sibling a little bit more now that they're away from college. So that makes my heart very happy. My sisters are my built-in best friends, and just having those commonalities of growing up together and the shared experience of that is priceless. And I just think that you should always be close to your siblings. And that's why we all live here in Texas together. We grew up in Pennsylvania, but it's important for us to be in close proximity to each other. So next up is relationships with your parents. Honestly, this one is the one that just went through my heart like a dagger. I was thinking about how I want our kids to want to spend time with us when they're our age, and to be near us, and, you know, want to live near us and all that stuff. So, you know, it really caused me to step back and reevaluate where I'm at with my relationship with my parents. And, you know, Craig's parents don't live nearby, and the amount of time that we spend with them and talk to them and things like that. You know, one of the things, my parents are back in Texas. They spend 6 months in Pennsylvania and 6 months here. And, you know, we're being really intentional with our time about having them over on Sunday afternoons for dinner after church, and trying to schedule more time to spend with them, because, you know, you just don't, we are lucky that our parents are still here and we get to have this opportunity. And I hope that our kids are going to want that too. So I would definitely say this was an area of conviction for me, not guilt, to do better with our parents, and to spend more time with them, and hope that our kids are going to want the same thing. All right, so next up is self-care. This is an area that I feel like I have sort of done good with modeling for my kids and hoping that they will do the same thing, and sort of not. So at times I guess I've been kind of a martyr in the family, like taking on too much responsibility and getting too stressed out and overwhelmed. And I've tried to really, over the past few years especially, measure my energy and efforts and pull back a little bit on that. I do work out. I do take care of my body. I try to eat healthy most of the time. And, you know, I think that Craig and I have both really tried to impress that upon our kids. Our two older kids do work out and, you know, try to eat healthy. And they started that at a pretty young age. So I'm happy about that. Ava is not so much into working out, but I think she's only 15. So I'm hoping that will be something that she eventually comes around on. But I also think that self-care has a lot to do with knowing where their worth comes from. Like, I never want my kids to become addicted to anything. And when I'm saying addiction, I'm not just talking about alcohol or drugs or, you know, really like those types of things. I'm talking about work addictions, or there are a lot of addictions out there. And I hope that, that they know where their worth comes from and never feel that they need to go down that path of addiction. And that leads me into my next topic, which is mental health. I feel like at this stage of my life, I have worked really, really hard to be mentally healthy. Like, it is hard work, people, and counseling and digging into your past and cleaning all that stuff out is not fun. And if you've had any type of trauma, or, you know, in your childhood, or you had an upbringing in a household with addiction, or, you know, any type of abuse situations, it is imperative as an adult for you to get in there and clean that stuff up. So I really hope that our kids always know that it's okay to, you know, work on your mental health and go to counseling if you need to. You know, like, there have been things that have eluded Craig and I, issues with our kids, and we have a really, really good adolescent behavioral therapist that our kids, we've told them, her door is open to you. You always have this opportunity. If there's something that you need to talk through, or you need some different perspective on, she's there for you. So I hope that we have set that example of mental health and digging in if there's something, that baggage that you're carrying into your adulthood that is affecting, you know, your happiness and your relationships. I just can't stress enough how important it is to be mentally healthy. Next up on the list is finances. If there's anything that I wish I could change, it would be that we started down a financially healthy path sooner. We did Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University about 12 years ago, and it was life-changing. I don't look at things the same way as I did before then. I've also read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and gave it to both of our older kids to read. I think it's really important for them to understand those concepts of what true assets and liabilities are, and that wealth is not about what you acquire and spend. It's about what you keep. And it's not about what you earn either, honestly. It's really about being smart with your money and investing in the right types of things. And we didn't really have the opportunity to save for college when our kids were really young. So we've had to find ways to make that work now. And I just feel so blessed that we did that 12 years ago, because that's what put us in a position now. And I hope that by being really open about our finances, we are super open with our kids about everything financial. It is not a secret in our family. Like, whatever they want to know, I'm here for them. I will tell them. I've sat down with them on bill paying days before and showed them the spreadsheets that I keep and how I balance our accounts and all that good stuff, because I think that it's such a crucial area that kids are missing out on in school. They need this so badly. I know that in high school, my two older kids did learn a little bit about it, but not, you know, as deep as they needed to. So I hope to be able to continue to be a mentor for them in this area as they start their first jobs and they, you know, are getting 401ks and they have families and start thinking about this type of stuff. I just can't stress the importance of it enough. Okay, so next up is career. I am so blessed and fortunate to do something that I love, that pulls me out of bed every morning, that I can't wait to log on to my laptop. I truly smile so many times a day, and I get so much delight out of what I do. And I really, really want that for my kids. Unfortunately, I didn't find my calling until I was 40 years old. So it was a path though. And every piece in the puzzle, every step of the journey was leading to this. And I never could have dreamed that when I was 22 years old and fresh out of college with my psychology degree. I never knew that everything that I was doing was going to be leading to this. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do back then. I just knew, like at the age of 15, that I wanted to do something that helped women and helped their lives and made a difference. But I had no clue what that was. So I do hope that they find something that lights them up, and something that makes them excited in the mornings, and something that makes a difference. And that's my hope and prayer for them. And I will be there for them every step of the way. And also let them know that it's okay if you don't figure it out right away. Like Aubrey called us last night crying and having a meltdown because she finally decided on a major. And then when she went to schedule her classes for next semester, she realized that the 2 classes that she needed that were prerequisites to everything else were not offered in the spring, which would set her back. And we just talked through this with her and let her know that, you know, you're going to have roadblocks along the way. It's just something you can either let it stop you, or you can find a way around it. Like the stream finds the way around the rocks. You have to just keep going and pushing through with this. If it's important enough to you, then you need to find a way to do it. And I hope that they all find something that is that important to them, that they do want to continue. Like I have challenges every single day in this business. I mean, from tech issues to you name it, there's always something new. There's always something challenging, and you have to view those challenges. You can't always see them as negatives. Sometimes those are the things that are stretching you and helping you to grow and learn something new. So I really hope that they do find fulfilling careers and things that they love. And the last thing on the list, which actually is the first thing on the list, is spirituality. You know, I hope that they stick with their roots. We've raised them, taking them to church and praying with them on a daily basis and praying for them on a daily basis. And I hope that they take that into their adulthood too, because honestly, they need to have something bigger to believe in and know that they have a purpose and they were fearfully and wonderfully made. And I just pray every day that they have that strong relationship and are able to continue that throughout their lives. So, all right, moving on to the next question that I got. And this is where I'm going to address one regret. So the question was, and this is along the same lines as the first question, she asked, as someone with elementary school age kids at home, I would love a coffee chat about what you as a parent with 2 kids in college and 1 in high school have learned or would do differently if you had to do it all over again. So I started off by talking about regrets and how I don't really have any. My only regrets, and this might strike some people the wrong way, but my only regret is that I wasn't home with my kids when they were little. Like that was my dream, that I wanted to be there with them when they were younger. And I am not saying this to make anybody feel bad. I'm just being 120% honest. That one of the things that broke my heart was having to send my kids to daycare and work full time outside of the house. And I tried to make that work. And Craig and I tried so hard, but at the end of the day, it just didn't work out for us. So I'll never forget when I went back from maternity leave after having Ava, I cried for an entire week before going back to work. And then, it never felt right. But then after praying about it for so many years, I finally got the opportunity to work from home. And my advice would be, if there's any way possible that you can do that, if it's not financially feasible, where there's a will, there's a way. Do whatever you can to make that happen. However, I will say this, that even though I regretted not being there when they were little and not being able to stay home with them, I think it was even just as, if not more important, that I was here for them when they were teenagers. And just having that time with them when they're in those formative years. And, the thing I miss the most with my 2 older kids is the car rides. Taking them to and from school, taking them to and from practice when it's just us in the car, no distractions, and we can talk. And that's when my kids opened up to me. the most. And I just think it was so much more important for me to be able to have that time with them and, you know, be blessed to be home now and have the bandwidth that it takes to parent teenagers, because it's not always easy. And, you know, even though I can't go back and change the past, I can be convicted about right now and what I can do with my kids now. And even if you don't have that privilege of being home with your kids and they're teenagers, or you never had that privilege, it's okay. You did a good job, Mama. You did fine. They love you. And I'm sure that there are plenty more opportunities for you to continue to connect with them through a lifetime. And, you know, that's something, a great gift that moms who are older than me have given to me, is to let me know that you don't stop being a parent when your kids leave home or when they grow up. You're still a parent. You're still going to have that relationship and that connection with them. As a matter of fact, I think it becomes even richer and deeper as they grow older and they're able to relate with you on an adult level. I'm enjoying my relationship with them so much now, and there's some freedom in that. That it's not all about the parenting and guidance. It's about having just a great relationship with some pretty cool adult kids. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. I would love to hear your insights on parenting regrets. And, you know, I think it's important for us as moms. You know, I'm 45 and I'm more than willing to share with the moms that are coming up and haven't had teenagers and gone through these life stages yet. But I also think it's important for the moms ahead of us to be mentors to us too, and give us their wisdom and knowledge. So I would greatly appreciate if you would just continue this conversation and sharing with us. And also if you would share this video if you found something useful in it, or if you enjoyed it in some way. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye.